Hi all, thank you for watching this video. I would like to go and to explain things about the Lightness tournament. First thing, of course, what is the Lightness tournament? It's not new. The Lightness tournament, the first edition of the Lightness tournament was in 2013 in Colorado. That was the first one. Since we had two Lightness tournaments per year in Arizona and in Colorado, and this for many years. After came COVID, the pandemic, and of course, like other things, the Lightness tournament was put on the side. And now we feel we are ready to go back and have this Lightness tournament back in the cell. So why to do a Lightness tournament and why to come up with another show while there are already many different shows? The first thing is because Lightness is the goal. So it's a little bit different of the dressage shows because it's a classical show. So it is all about classical dressage and Lightness is the goal. It's also to show and to educate people that there is another way to train and another way to ride in Lightness. Also because the Lightness tournament is showing an equitation that is more artistic than sport. Riders should ride for the horses and not for the score, and that's a little bit the philosophy behind the Lightness tournament and the classes of Lightness, where you want to improve yourself, you want to improve your horse, you are not competing against other people. And I will go more in detail later on this. So that's the reason for the Lightness, why to have a Lightness tournament. Also because in the Lightness tournament, we have also other disciplines like the Doma Vaquera and the Alta Escuela. And these two disciplines, they are sometimes in some PRA shows or Lusitano shows, breed shows, but here in the States, that's basically all. There is no competition of Doma Vaquera or Alta Escuela going on all year. So with the Lightness tournament, at least we have, we try to show those classes from Spain, the Doma Vaquera, the Western one, and the Alta Escuela, the classical Spanish dressage. So what is the Lightness tournament? So the Lightness tournament is a 2-day show. We're gonna have all the Lightness classes. So in the Lightness classes, it's divided in two. We have the mounted classes, where riders are riding the horses, and the pied-à-terre classes, where riders are on the ground with long reins or in hand. In addition to that, we have one section that we call the games. And for 2024, for Arizona, we're gonna have 3 different games. We're gonna have Piaffe Passage and Tradition. This is one game in which everybody gonna bring the horses and Piaffe Passage and perform the traditions. I will go back to that in detail a little bit later. Then we have another game, which is the Spanish Walk. Everybody and all the horses love the Spanish Walk, so that's an opportunity to get in the arena and try to do Spanish Walk. And those are competitions. So here, the games are, there is one winner, and it's going to be the best of the participant. And then we have the freestyle garrocha. So that's going to be a competition also, where it's a freestyle, and I'm going to go in detail a little bit later, with the Spanish garrocha. So you're going to dance with your horse and your garrocha, and the best performance is going to be the winner. Of course, this is open to any horse, any breed, and we have all levels, so even more greener riders or horses can participate to the Lightness tournament. The tests are exciting, and of course, it's really about partnership between you and your horse. In addition to these games, we have the competition of Doma Vaquera. So we follow the rules from Spain, and the tests are the one from Spain. For the 2024, we're going to be limited the number of tests for the Doma Vaquera and also for the Alta Escuela. And we have also a competition of Spanish Alta Escuela. And same thing, for the 2024, we're gonna have a couple of tests, and we are not going to offer all the tests of all the levels. So the very first thing is, where can you learn about the rules? Well, get online. We're gonna put in the description section all the links you need to get ready for the Lightness tournament down below in your video. And if you go to my website, trigomanual.com, you go in the menu to Lightness tournament, and in the Lightness tournament, scroll down, and you're gonna arrive at a section where you have the test, the rules, and everything. As the rules for the Lightness tournament, but the rules for the games too. So I really recommend to anybody who wants to know more about the Lightness tournament, and more for those that are going to participate in March for this first edition after COVID of the Lightness tournament. I really recommend to all these people to read the rules. It's very important that you understand everything. So print the rules and go through everything. So now I'm gonna go a little bit through a couple of things about these rules, and just to explain things a little bit specific or that you are not used to see, and so on, to try to help you to understand the rules. The first thing, for every class that we're gonna have, and I think we have no exception, so that means all the Lightness class, all the classes with a long range pied à terre, and then the games, and finally the Doma Vaquera and Alta Escuela. For all those classes, there is a turnout inspection first, meaning that all the riders participating in the class are gonna come inside of the arena. They're gonna make a line. When everybody is ready, the judge is gonna ask you to go forward, walk. So everybody gonna walk forward to reach the level where the judge is waiting for you, and then the judge and the steward are gonna go through an inspection of your tack and attire to see if they match and follow the rules for every class or discipline, Doma Vaquera and Alta Escuela. So during this first phase, you need to wear your helmet. I'm coming back. So you cannot wear your helmet. That's completely different. So it doesn't matter if you are doing the Lightness class or even you are dressed in dressage and so on. We ask for all the participants to use your regular and respective hat of Doma Vaquera or Alta Escuela or Lightness and so on in this first phase. You're gonna be just seated on your horse, you are walking toward the judge, and then you're getting out of the arena. So you should be okay without wearing a helmet for 5 minutes at the halt. Then after that, when you enter in the class, helmets are facultative. So if you want to use the helmet, don't hesitate. If you really are dressed in dressage and you really want to wear the helmet because hair or whatever issues, it's fine. Come with a helmet if you are dressed in dressage, but for everybody else, no helmet. So then after that, everybody is going out, and the first participant gonna be called, and you're gonna have a little time to enter in the arena and start your test. So a couple of general guidelines regarding the execution of the test and movement. So one of the things is spurs are not authorized for the Lightness classes. Of course, spurs doesn't make sense for the pied à terre. And then for the Doma Vaquera and for the Alta Escuela, spurs are mandatory. Finally, for the games, they are under the rules of the Lightness tournament, so no spurs for the games also. For the Lightness classes, whips are not authorized. However, you can carry a tweak. So go in your backyard, choose the best tree you have, and get a branch, a twig ready for this lightness tournament. For the long runs, you're going to be able to use an in-hand whip, which is the in-hand whips are from 60 to 66, 64 inches. Over 66 inches, they are too long. You are not going to be authorized to carry that whip. For the Doma Vaquera, spurs are mandatory, and you can carry a twig in the first level, then no more. Same thing for the Alta Escuela. For any class where it's a freestyle, what does that mean? That means that you can choose where and when to perform the exercise. In a position with the sequential test, where you have one movement, then you have to do the other one, and the next one, and so on, somewhere specific in the arena with the letters. So the freestyle, you choose when and where you want to do that. Just be careful that you don't forget something. Talking about the freestyle, don't forget that everything that is side movement, lead at the canter, and circle, you need to perform in both directions, because the test can just tell you 10-meter circle, to stay with a very basic example, and you need to do a 10-meter circle left and a 10-meter circle right. Don't forget that. What else do I need to tell you? So one thing extremely important in the lightness tournament, as we want the riders to ride for their horses and not for the score, you are not going to see your scores regarding your movement. You will see the score for the technical composition and for the artistic part, but you will not see the score. So if your pirouette was a 3, you will not know that it was a 3. However, the judge is gonna put you the comments and gonna give you a lot of comments. You're gonna get for every movement a lot of comments. The reason why we don't want to give the score to the riders or the audience is because we want riders to ride for the horses. Improve your horse, master the class, but if the piaffe was a 5 or a 5.5, it doesn't matter at all. However, if your piaffe was not, the haunches were not lower, the rhythm was not there, the horses were not balanced on the hind legs and so on, well, you're gonna know all that because it's gonna be in the comment. So with the comment of the judge, you're gonna have the possibility to improve right away in the next test or sessions of the lightness tournament. Something extremely important too, because we want rider to get better in the lightness tournament. We want that you master each level. So when you ride a test in the same show, you have the possibility to ride one more time the same test if you feel that something went wrong. That's happened. I mean, a lot of things could happen when you enter in the arena and you're in front of the judge and there is people around clapping and so on. A lot of things could go wrong in the arena. So we want to give a chance to those people riding a second time the test. When you ride the second time the test, to see if you did master or not master is going to be the overall, the average between the first ride and the second ride. That's going to tell you if you did master or master with brilliance the test or not. But in the past, in the previous lightness tournament, we had a lot of people, they were just a couple of points from mastering or even mastering with brilliance. So in cases like that, we like to call the rider and at the table and to tell him, man, you are 2 points away or 3 points away, rewrite. And if the judge tells you to rewrite, honestly, don't even think. Get ready, go back when it's going to be your turn. You have a lot of chances to get your second ride much better, and even with you making an average between the two rides, you're probably gonna get higher. So probably master or master with brilliance your test. But it's still up to the rider if you go or not a second time in the arena for the same test. All the riders, all the participants need to provide their music to the show management, and this is extremely important. Music should you should send your music on time. Don't come the last day or in the morning before the Lightness tournament, your classes, giving us on a flash drive or whatever the music. We have no time to get your music in the right place on the computer for your class. So the risk that you're gonna ride with the music of somebody else or somebody else gonna ride with your music is pretty high. So we are not going to do that. Bring and send your music early enough to be able to get everything ready, and so we can run smoothly the show. So for the test of lightness, the test is, and your score is going to be divided and split in 3 sections. You're going to have the movement and the score for every movement, for your walk, your trot, your canter, your circle, your transitions, and so on. And then you're going to have a technical composition section in which you're going to have different score. And the third section is going to be the artistic presentation. It's classical dressage. We want an artistic equitation. So not only you ride, that's what makes the difference between really the art and the sport. So we want you showing like an artist your test. So the third section is the artistic presentation. All right, let's go a little bit more in detail regarding the technical composition. So in the technical composition, it's split in different sections, and you're going to get a score for all that. Those are kind of global score, and you're going to get a score for the impulsion and regularity of the horse. Your horse has to be ahead of your legs, behind your hands. I mean, the horse is between the head of the legs of the rider and in the hands of the rider, or slightly behind the hands of the rider. You're going to get a score for the submission and enjoyment of the horse. The horse has to be absolutely submitted. Everything that you ask him, the horse has to perform the movement that you ask without any defense, but at the same time, he has to show that he's happy. Here's maybe forward or here's back, listening what the rider is telling him one way or another to do. The third thing is the balance and lightness of the horse. So your horse has to be light and in balance. Of course, so the balance, of course, it's a balance of collection, depending the level, more and more and more and more collected, the higher you go up the levels. Safe carriage, that's another criteria, so that the horse stay in the balance, in the frame, and even perform a little bit the movement by himself without the continuous aids of the rider, hands or legs or whatever. Another score will be for the lightness and discretion of the rider aids. If you stay quiet, if your hands don't move much, if your legs don't move much, you're gonna get good scores. And finally, descent of the aids. It's when you can lower and relax your hands and the reins, relax the seat, relax your legs, and the horse is performing the movement. So all that are part of the technical composition. Let's move on to the artistic presentation. One of the first things is the music, is the selection of the music. Did you select a music that match the test that you are doing? Did you select a music that match your horse, the rhythm of your horse, and so on? So this is a score for rhythm and selection of the music. Another score is for the interpretation of the music. Do you dramatize a little bit? Do you do your changes between one gate and the other one synchronize with the music? And there are many other things. Is your choreography nice to watch and so on? So the interpretation of the music, can we almost read a story in your choreography and in your test? If it's yes, the answer, you're gonna get high scores. Choreography and use the arena. The idea is that you have a nice choreography, but you use the entire arena. So we're gonna be in a dressage court, 20 per 60 meters. So you need to use every part of this arena, not only the center and not only in front of the judge for 5 minutes, doing everything there. It doesn't look good. You need to take care of the people watching, the auditors. You need to take care of the judge. You need to take care of everything. So split everything across the arena. You don't have to do super complicated, but just, nice patterns, mirror patterns, that when you do something on the left side and on the right side, it's similar, without forgetting anything. That's more than enough. Another score will be for the degree of difficulty. Degree of difficulty, first, are you running with all the reins in your left hand? Are you running with the reins splitted? Degree of difficulty, how you connect to movement in the case of the freestyle. For example, when you have to, let's imagine a freestyle where you have to canter and you have to piaf, okay? So if you, first example, if you piaf and then from the piaf you trot forward and go to the canter, that's going to have a much lower score in the degree of difficulty that if you piaf, stay at the piaf, and from the piaf transition to canter and you leave at the canter. That will be much nicer, and the degree of difficulty, the way that you connect the different exercises together, the degree is higher, so the score gonna be higher. Finally, there is another score which is harmony and grace between the rider and the horse. This is absolutely subjective to the judge. How the judge gonna perceive you? Do you look good on your horse with the costume you have? Do the things, is there harmony and grace between you and the horse or not? That's the question that the judge gonna ask himself to give you the scores. For all the tests, you have a time limit, so you're not going to ride all morning in the arena until you get your test done. Reading the test, on the side of the test, on the top at the beginning, you have the time limit. Of course, for this 2024 first Lightness tournament after COVID, we're gonna be a little bit flexible. There is a lot of new people, they're gonna ride with no experience of the Lightness tournament. So we're gonna be a little bit, okay, if you pass your time limit of 5 seconds, 20 seconds, it's fine. But if you are 3-4 minutes off the time limit, it's not going to go well. So to approbation of the test now, let's talk a little bit about that. So we said that the marks of your movement will not be communicated to you or to the audience. You're gonna get the test after your rides, after the show. We're gonna send you the test. You're not going to see the scores, but you're gonna see the scores of the technical composition and the artistry. What you're gonna know right away, a few minutes after you ride, or even earlier than that, is if you did master, or if you master with brilliance, or if the judge is asking you to rewrite. So these three information are gonna come very quickly, probably a few seconds after that you leave the arena. So now, to master a test, you need to have a global score of 70%, 7-0. If you have 7-0 or higher, you have mastered. If you have 80%, 8-0 or higher, you have mastered with brilliance. And that's gonna be in your plates, in your ribbon, it's gonna say if you did master or not with brilliance. So the goal is to master each level, and as soon as you master a level, you need to go to the next level, and so on. So there are 5 levels in the Lightness classes. 5 levels on the salon and 5 levels with pied-à-terre on the ground. For all the riding classes in the salon, for each level there is 2 tests, the test A and the test B. You need to master the test A before you can ride the test B. So in the same show, and for the 2024, some of you are going to have 2, 3, 4 tests to ride. You need to train for that, and then the show is the show. So if you master the test, let's say level 1A, you're good to go later for the class 1B. And if you master the 1B, you're good to go for the 2A and even 2B. I think in the past we had somebody who did like 5, 6 tests in the same show, I think in Colorado. So I think she went until level 3 in the same show. So you need to master one test so you can go to the next one. On the ground with the long runs is the same idea, but you have only one test per level. So as soon as you are done with the test level 1, you can ride, you can show the test level 2 and the test level 3. Tack and attire. So the different way. In the lightness tournament, we don't want people not to be able to ride because they have only Western salon, because every day they ride in a Western salon and not in a dressage salon. So there is different ways that you can be prepared and show your horses during the lightness tournament. And there is no distinction for that. You are not going to get better score if you go in dressage than if you are in Western or if you are in Doma Vaquera. It's going to be the same thing. So the first way to dress is the way of Spanish Alta Escuela. The Spanish Alta Escuela is the classical dressage from Spain, and there is different tack and attire that they have to be respected if you want to ride in this class. I'm not going to go into detail for that. I will tell you later how to do. Dressage. So for the dressage, you're gonna have to follow the rules of the FEI, and you're gonna come with your dressage salon, with your dressage beats eventually, and your dressage attire, vest, breeches, boots, and so on. You have another possibility is the Spanish Doma Vaquera. So the Spanish Doma Vaquera, again, it's a discipline very, very specific. And if you want to be in the Doma Vaquera outfit, you are more than welcome. You need the Doma Vaquera salon, the traje corto, the boots that go with the traje corto, and the Spanish a la ancha hat. Finally, no, not finally, one more possibility is the Western outfit. So Western salon, Western hat, jeans, jeans, boots, Western boots, and so on. So this has to follow the running rules in the USA. There is one more way to dress if you want to dress in basically any of the costume of the 18th century, from the French costume, the Portuguese costume, or any costume really, honestly, from the 18th century. So meaning the tricorn hat, you know, the one that is triangle, or the cavalier hat. It's a little bit like the same that you see in the movie from the Musketeer. The only thing is the wing is in the other side. So you can ride in this outfit too. There is no problem. So regarding the costume now, I did ask Diane Calderon from Iberian Connection to help me for this 2024 edition, because we are middle of January and the show is end of March. It's the last weekend of March. So the time, we are running out of time, and we are all very busy. So I did ask Diane Calderon from Iberian Collection to help me to answer your question regarding the outfits, or even to get you the outfits. Iberian Collection is it's a shop here in Arizona. They order everything from Spain and from Portugal. So you can get your Portuguese outfit, you can get your Spanish outfit, you can get the 18th century outfit and so on. Do that as soon as possible because they come from Spain and it takes some time to get them here in the country. Now, if we continue with the outfit, with the tack, of course, the soul needs to match the costume, which needs to match the bridle, and so on. But still, it doesn't matter what bridle you use, what system you use, the mouth of the horse cannot be restricted. So if you go in dressage, you cannot use the flash. You can use the noseband, but the noseband will be 1 inch loose. We ask for any noseband to be 1 inch loose. Now, if you're riding in the Spanish cabeçon, the serreta is the only one who has to be tight, and it's not to close the mouth of the horse. It is just because the way that it works, it has to stick to the nose, making pressure on the nose to lift the horse or bend the horse one way or the other. So that one will not work if it's not tight enough for that. So if you have a Spanish media caña, you're riding in this cabeçon, you are good to tight, but otherwise nothing could be tight around the mouth of this horse. Now, for all the tests in the lightness classes, you can ride them with 2 reins or 4 reins. So you have different possibility. Now, if you ride with 2 reins, only 2 reins, so you can have the reins splitted, or you can have all the reins in your left hand. Okay, and you're gonna ride with all the rest in your left hand. If you have 4 reins, you can have the reins splitted, and now here you need to have the reins in the French way, meaning you're gonna have the false rein on the top and the bottom rein for the curb getting out from your hand at the level under the pinky. So the French way, if you want to have 4 reins, that's the only way that is authorized for the French for the classes of the lightness tournament. If you can now have all the reins in your left hand, and here you're gonna ride with the system 3 and 1, meaning you're gonna have a false rein, left curb, right curb, these 3 in your left hand, and then you're gonna have the right false coming in opposite direction in your hand. If you're not familiarized with this system, I don't recommend you to go there. Anyway, you're gonna get more points if you have your reins in your left hand, but it's more challenging because it's very easy to do any mistake of bend of the horse or trajectory eventually because you cannot steer correctly. So careful with that. So, regardless what discipline outfit you're gonna have, dressage, for example, I stay with the dressage. I think it's gonna be clear if I explain like that. You still can use the bit that we recommend in the lightness. Meaning, even if you go in dressage, you could ride your horse with a cabeçon and the curb bit, 18th century curb bit, Doma Vaquera curb bit, Alta Escuela curb bit. So why that? Because the idea of riding with a cabeçon, the idea is to be soft in the mouth of the horse. So you are showing that your horse that is still young or green, you are taking care of his mouth. working the horse on his nose and not so much on the mouth. And this is why this way of getting a bridle ready will be authorized with any costume, any attire that you're gonna want to use. Actually, that's the way that was done in the 18th century, that's the way in Doma Vaquera, that's the way in Alta Escuela. So for this discipline, you are good, with some exception. And for the like dressage, you can ride like this. And for if you dress in Western, it's a little bit the idea like the Californian vaqueros, with Bozal plus beat at one point in the training of the horse. So this way, cabeçon plus curb, doesn't matter what outfit you're gonna be wearing, you're gonna be authorized to use that with your horse. Now, level 3 of lightness, you cannot have the cabeçon anymore. And so you have to be in the double bridle or simple beat. And it's the same thing in the Doma Vaquera. In the second level, you cannot have anymore the cabeçon. And same thing in Alta Escuela. Let's talk a little bit about the test. So I repeat, the test, the lightness test, split it in two. The first one in the saddle and the second one pied-à-terre. So you have these two different sections because the classical dressage is not only in the saddle, but it's also pied-à-terre, meaning on the ground. So there is 5 levels for in the saddle, 5 levels in the pied-à-terre. In the saddle, you have every test, every level has to test A and B. When we started doing the lightness tournament, in all the lightness section, doesn't matter if it was on the ground or in the saddle, all the tests were freestyle. Then we realized after a couple of years, seeing the difficulty that the first-timer riders or more green exhibitors were having, we decided to keep the level 1 sequential test. So for the level 1, it's going to be a sequential test. So you don't have to come up with a choreography. It's already done for you. So you just have to follow the instruction of the test. For the level 1, it's for the test A and for the test B. And then the second level, test A, it's also sequential. After the 2A, so meaning the 2B and higher, all those tests and levels are free style. So you need to have your own choreography. All the pied-à-terre are freestyle. So you don't have a pied-à-terre with a sequential. So there is much more. And this is why I really suggest that you read the test and read all the rules, because there is much more details. But I don't want in this video to go too deep in the details. It's just to give you an idea. Same thing for the games. Print the rules of the games. You're gonna find them in the link below, but you're gonna also find those link in my website, trigomanual.com. Go to Lightness Tournament and you're gonna have scroll down and you're gonna have everything down there. So let's start with the games, and the first game is the class 500 Piaffe Passage and Tradition. You have to show the Piaffe, you have to show the Passage, and you have to show the Piaffe Passage Tradition and Passage Piaffe. So you have to show 4 things, 4 different things that you have to do. The Piaffe and the Passage have a coefficient of 2. So they have, if you get a score of 10, it's a coefficient 2, so you're going to get 20 points and not 10. The Tradition have a coefficient of 1. For the Piaffe and the Passage, for both of them, you need to hold the exercise, your Piaffe or your Passage, for more than 20 seconds. 20 seconds, it's the minimum. If you don't reach the 20 seconds, you score. There is a score for that, and you're gonna get less score on the time. The transition from the piaffe to the passage and from the passage to the piaffe have to be shown twice. The piaffe has to be shown twice and the passage has to be shown twice. So it's a very short class. You enter, your horse has to be ready, and when it's your turn, you piaffe, passage, do your transition in the order that you want, but you need to show all that twice, and then that's it. All the riders are at the same time in the arena. You go back in line somewhere in the arena, and the next rider will show his competition. You can show this class mounted, in hand, or with a long reins. So I mean, in the saddle with the long reins behind the horse, or in hand with both reins in your hand, or just presentation cavesson, where you're gonna have the reins attached to the neck, and that's all. Only one winner, so it's gonna be the person having the highest score. That's gonna be the winner. So you're not going to be in the first 10. What do I need to tell you more? That's all for this class. Let's move on to the Spanish Walk class. For the Spanish Walk class, the same thing. Everybody gonna be in the arena together, and then we're gonna ask the first person and then the next one to show the Spanish Walk. The Spanish Walk has to be maintained for 20 seconds at least. You can do a little bit more. So we're gonna show you in the arena what you're going to do. Usually you're gonna go on the long side, like on the center line, and you're gonna go there for 20 seconds of Spanish Walk a couple of times. So for the Spanish Walk class, you can show your horse in the saddle or in hand, but not with the long reins. Those are the rules. Now, in hand, actually, the Spanish Walk is easier than with the long reins. So it's not an issue. Only one winner. Again, the person with the highest score gonna get the blue ribbon. Now, you just need to know that for the Spanish Walk, there is 11 criteria that the judge is gonna give you: a regularity, discussion of your aids as a trainer or rider, engagement of the hind legs, elevation of the front legs, many other things like that. And it's going to be the total of that divided by the number of the total of each section, and the person with the highest score going to be the winner. Finally, the last game gonna be the game of the Garrocha freestyle. So it's again a competition here, one winner, and you're gonna have 6 minutes to do an absolutely freestyle with no restrictions, meaning no restriction as far as the costume, as far as the way that you tack your horse. We want to be just you, the horse, and the Garrocha, and create something beautiful and artistic. If you have a big horse, tall horse, 18 hands, or you have a small horse, 15 hands, the size of the Garrocha is going to be the same. And the size of the Garrocha authorized is 3.5 meters. It's 11.6 feet. If you want to know, the diameter doesn't matter, it's up to you. So the test, you have 6 minutes to create a nice test with this Garrocha, and of course you're gonna be different criteria to judge the class. The movement you're gonna do, of course, the artistic, the use of the arena, many things like that to determine who did the best exhibition. The music will start from the moment you will enter in the arena and until the final salute. So you need to edit or have your music ready for that. In this class, when you enter, you don't have to do a salute to the judge. it's a freestyle and it's very artistic. So you can start right away without having to have a salute at the beginning. However, you need to finish and have a salute at the end. I think that's all for the games. Let's go very quickly through a couple of things for the Doma Vaquera. For the 2024, we have 3 tests, 1 per level 1, 2, 3, for the Spanish Doma Vaquera. We are not applying the rules of the age limit for the horses. So if you have a 7, 10 years old horse, you can go in level 1 or in level 2 or in level 3. We are not applying the rules that horses over 5 years, they have to be in level 2 and so on. It's going to be the same thing for the Alta Escuela regarding the age of the horses. The placement here, you're going to have a first place, a second place, and a third place, according how many competitors there are for this class. Same thing. Doma Vaquera rules, you're going to have the link in the video below. You have the link on my website. The rules, you're going to find the links there. Now the rules are in Spanish. So if you don't speak Spanish, too bad, or you're going to have to use Google Translate if you really want to learn more about the rules. However, I'm sure that if you ride in the Doma Vaquera or in the Alta Escuela, you already know at least some basic of the rules regarding these 2 disciplines. The Alta Escuela, we have 2 levels. For each level, there is a sequential test and there is a freestyle. So there is only 4 tests for this 2024 Lightness tournament, Arizona Lightness tournament. So you're going to have the basic level and the basic freestyle, and then you're going to have the medium level and the medium freestyle. For the Alta Escuela, you're going to have the placement 1, 2, 3. I think I'm done for all that. Now, I would like just to answer some of your questions. We got some questions, and I would like to go very quickly and to answer. Maybe that could help you to be ready for this Lightness tournament. So first question is, do we have to wear gloves? Yes, no. All depend of the discipline. You don't have to wear gloves for the Lightness. You have to wear gloves for the Alta Escuela and so on. So all depend if the discipline that you are riding. So read the rules of the discipline to know about the gloves. In the long range, can your whip have a lash? The whip for the long range is an in-hand whip. So those whips have only a little lash like that. So it's not a driving whip with 3 feet of lash and so on. So it's just a little thing like that. That's what is authorized. Nothing else. What is the best software to cut the music? There is many, depending on what you use. If you use Mac, a computer, if you do from your phone or not. So that's not, I think, an issue. A lot of them are, you don't have to pay. If you want something more sophisticated, in which you're going to include markers for you to know where you are according to your choreography and so on, there you're probably going to have to buy the software to be able to do that. But my answer is there are many. So just look in your store, in your application store, and you're going to find many software that allow you to edit the music. Can you wear a top hat with dressage? Yes. If we are doing a freestyle in the Doma Vaquera Sol, can we wear a costume that goes with the musical story or no. If you are doing Doma Vaquera, it's one of the disciplines which is the most strict. So if you are with the Doma Vaquera Sol and you are doing a Doma Vaquera test, it's kind of very restricted. So it's a traje corto. For the woman, you can have now the split skirt, but you're gonna have the traje corto with the trousers that goes with the boots and the ala ancha hat and so on. So you cannot come with a costume with wings on your back for the Doma Vaquera. No way. They're just gonna shoot you. Other questions? Is there a coefficient for the Spanish world class for in cell? No, there is no coefficient. So you can show in the cell or in hand the Spanish walk, and there is no coefficient. You are not going to get a degree of difficulty higher because you are in the cell. So the answer is no. Do we need music for all the classes? Yes, and if I go back to the lightness classes, level 1, for example, where you have a sequential test for 1A and 1B, still for the sequential test, you need to have a music. Again, it's one little step forward to be artistic. And when are you artistic? To be. That's where you start. So it's kind of a little step. Okay, you need to have the music that match your test, that match your outfits, that match your personality, or eventually the personality of your horse. So the music give a 3D dimension to your test. So yes, the answer is yes. You need music for every class. Can Diane for Iberian Connection order the closing on time for the Lightness Tournament Arizona end of March? No idea. But I guess yes, if you pass your order, if you talk to her according to what you need, if you need a hat to see what they have in stock, what they don't have in stock, and place your order in the next days or week, I'm pretty sure that you're gonna get everything ready for the Lightness Tournament. Can you have a full bridle in Doma Vaquera? No. The double bridle does not exist for the Doma Vaquera. So in the lower level, the young horse is with the cabeçon, the media caña on the nose, and the curb bit. As soon as the horse improves the media caña, the horse doesn't. We don't use anymore the media caña. So the false rein that they wear on the nose of the horse on the media caña are going in the mouth, on the upper ring of the bit, with 4 reins on the same bit, or just finally with the 2 reins, because that's the goal. So there is no full bridle for Doma Vaquera, so you're not going to ride with a bradoon and a curb bit. More questions? Is there a freestyle class where you can wear a costume? What kind of costume? If the costume is an elephant costume, no. The answer is no. There is no class where you can wear an elephant costume. However, the freestyle of the Garrocha freestyle, you can dress your horse and you can dress yourself the way that you want. We had in the past very nice costumes and for this freestyle Garrocha. So it's absolutely freedom. You dress, you perform, you do the way that you want this test. But beside the freestyle Garrocha, no, you cannot come up with wings on your back again for some classes. So what is the size of the Garrocha? I will repeat, 3.5 meters, which is 11.6 feet. Is there a traditional dress for the Garrocha? Yes and no. Not for the free class that we're gonna have, so for the freestyle Garrocha competition. No, anything you want. Now, if we go to the historic and in the past of the use of the Garrocha, maybe more in the field or even still in the arena in an artistic way, the Garrocha is associated and is badly linked with the Doma Vaquera. This is a tool to work the Toro Bravo. So what are the costumes of the the Doma Vaquera. So usually the garrocha and costume of Doma Vaquera, they go together. However, I repeat one more time, for the freestyle garrocha, you dress the way that you want. Okay, if you come in pyjama with sunglasses and sandals, I don't give the answer. What are the classes fees? Right now, I have no idea, but you're gonna get all that in your package where you're gonna receive all the information from the Lightness tournament, and for you to sign up the different classes and so on, you're gonna get the fees at that moment. For each class you want to do. And of course, there is packages. In the past, we did packages of, you can have several classes as a package, so it's a little bit cheaper. Don't forget that the Lightness tournament is handled and promoted by the Lightness Foundation. And like most of the foundation, there is no money. It's a foundation, so we need your help with that. We need you to pay your fee for the classes. That's going to allow the Lightness Foundation to pay back the money spent for this Lightness tournament, and hopefully to have enough to organize maybe another one this summer in Colorado, the next one in Arizona, or somewhere else. So this is why there is a fee to be able to break even. And this is extremely important to keep the Lightness tournament alive and going on. Same thing for the Lightness Foundation. So your donations are more than welcome for that. Also, you're going to receive soon emails and everything to become member of the Lightness Foundation, pay your membership to what give you some discount for the Lightness tournament. But like this, again, it's just to be able to keep the Lightness tournament. Again, it's a unique show. You're not going to see that very often, and try to keep the classical dressage alive. So remember, beside the Lightness tournament and so on, there are not many places where we try to keep the classical dressage alive beside the 4 schools, the Spanish schools of Jerez, the Portuguese school, the Spanish school of Vienne, and Le Cadre Noir de Saumur. So behind the school, there is no so many places in the world where you can have this classical dressage, and the Lightness Foundation, that's the goal. It's to promote this way of riding and the classical dressage. So be generous, put your hand deep in your way and help the Lightness Foundation with that. We're probably going to have in the next weeks other videos to give more detail about some classes, eventually the costume or things like that, so stay tuned. Okay, thank you so much, and I hope to see you at the Lightness tournament.